Good morning, sports fans. This Labor Day weekend celebration here at Jake's Furnishings. That's where we are. Jake's Furnishings, 1100 Woodlawn Road. You're in the cheap seats. Josh Komnick along with the furniture guy, Jake Johnston. Jake.
Morning. How are we doing?
Good. Well, we're doing great. We're a Saturday after a Railer W. I mean,
it's Railer big victory, home opener.
Saturdays are always better after a Railer W.
Coach Max, if he doesn't come in here doing cartwheels.
Yeah, I think he's. I'm sure he will be.
I got the camera ready.
Good. We're going to film it. We've got Joe, the cameraman, ready for that when it happens. But again,
/cosmetologist or cosmetologist.
Meteorologist.
Meteorologist. You might do
but
some cosmetology.
We are here at Jake's Furnishings, getting ready for the basically the football opener of college. Of course, there's been some games this Thursday.
Yep.
Last night there were a few games. Michigan State took on Boise State. Michigan State was a winner, I believe, 17-13 or 17-14, something like that. So they've gone underway. But mainly the big day, Illinois today, at home, 11 o'clock. If they can get this in, hopefully, as long as there's not any lightning or anything,
we're good.
They'll be playing because we're going to have some rain going on today. But Illini open up today at home against, Central Michigan?
Western
Michigan. You got it.
Yeah.
Western Michigan today at Memorial Field. And, of course, the big game tonight is Michigan and Alabama down in Arlington, Texas.
I don't know if that's going to be such a big game.
Michigan just lost a couple players. They put them on they suspended them for this game, their main running back, and then I think a defensive end too.
Yeah.
So it may not be pretty for the Big Ten and Michigan taking on the number 2 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. But we got a lot to talk about here this morning. Of course, high school football, second week into action. And Jake, while we're here, let's run over the scores from the Central State 8. Of course, last night, Lincoln improved to 1-1 on the season with a 22-14 win over the Lions from Lanphier. I was there about 8 minutes of the game, and my wife said that's
the
enough.
Kids with you too?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Kids were soaked, playing catch and tackling each other, just soaked in dirt, mud.
They probably loved it.
Oh, they loved it.
Yeah.
They didn't want to leave, but the boss put her foot down and said, I've had enough rain. We'll go home and listen to it on 96.3.
You people will wrap up in a plastic bag before you get in her truck.
Yes, and we did. We stripped the kids and got them in there. But it was a good game where the Railers were down 14-6 at half, and really, of course, shut them out in the second half. And the Railers put in some touchdowns, and we'll cover more of the game when Coach McDonald gets here. Again, the Railers improved to 1-1. Southeast was a winner. That's our opponent next week. Southeast 28, Canton 21, Springfield 40. Taylorville 13, and the Leonard Bowl is what the Springfield News kind of categorized that game as. Sacred Heart Griffin opened their new stadium against Rochester, so the coach from Sacred Heart Griffin played his son, and it was a 29-26 Sacred Heart Griffin win. Sacred Heart Griffin's ranked 5th in 6A, and Rochester is ranked number 1 in 4A. So a big battle. Looked like there was a ton of people there on that beautiful new stadium that they got. So a winner, Sacred Heart Griffin 29, Rochester 26, and then Chatham and Jacksonville did not play yesterday because it was raining.
It was raining.
So
I don't know. It might have been.
There could have been lightning. Yeah, it may have been worse than what was here.
You can't play football.
So maybe they had some lightning, maybe they had some tornado things, but they're going to replay. I think they're going to set that for Monday.
Yeah.
Or was it Monday?
I believe it was Monday.
Yeah, Monday. So Chatham and Jacksonville will round out the Central State 9, I guess now. But that's going to do it for the Central State 8. A lot of some close scores. Some teams. Springfield showing well against Taylorville. And Jake, I was thinking about this last night and a little bit this morning. I can't remember where the Railers put up a W this early in the season. It always seemed like we were fighting to the end to get that third win or even that first win or maybe even that win to get us into the playoffs. Week 2, we're 1-1.
Yeah, after you brought that up, I was trying to figure it out myself, and I don't remember it, to be honest. Yeah, this may be the earliest of my recollection.
Several years ago when the Railers won 4 games and needed that 5th one, I think, to get into the playoffs, we lost that first game to Mount Zion. I remember it was Coach Shaner. It might have been 3 or 4 years ago now. We were up 24-0 or something like that. A lot of Railer fans remember that, and we lost it in the second half. And that was a big game. If the Railers win that, which they should have, we're in the playoffs. And now, sitting here, 1-1. You got Southeast coming in next week, who is a good team, another fast, another quick team, but not a team that I don't think is like a Sacred Heart Griffin, where there's a very minimal chance that the Railers can come out on top. If you can get Southeast, it looks like Taylorville might be a little down. That or Springfield is really good. Taylorville lost to Springfield 40-13 last night. So if you can squeak out one against Southeast, if you can squeak out one against Taylorville, and never know what may happen on the road at some night when some team takes you lightly. You've got Olympia, the last game of the season. You
might sneak in there.
Well, I'm thinking Coach McDonald's got to be pretty happy with where he is right now.
All right.
You know, they get blasted last week, 48-0, and the kids responded real well. Looked like the Railers actually fumbled the ball 8 times last night, but only lost it twice.
Well, I was going to say, how much do you think last night the conditions played into their win? I'm sure Coach Mack will be on here later and go over all that with us, but it had to help with the size that the Railers have to move the very athletic Lanphier team.
Well, and I think the rain slowed Lanphier down.
Correct.
One thing I want to ask Coach when he gets here is, did you prepare any for the rain? You knew it was coming this week. Did you soak the footballs in some water and do all that kind of stuff that you might try? Because really,
throw them in the freezer for a couple hours.
Really, this whole preseason, we've not, or summer, or basically a lot of last year, didn't have to worry about any rain. I mean, we didn't have to worry about those conditions, the field being wet, the balls being wet. So did he do anything extra to get the guys accustomed to the rain? So we're going to check with Coach as he comes in, hopefully in the second half hour of the show, with the football and the recap of the Railer 22-14 win. Also in local action last night, Pontiac was a winner over Olympia 35-20. So Olympia drops a game in week 2. Also, we're going to get to cover some Illinois here. We want to also cover some of the baseball because that's still going on. Jake just had to go help a customer as he's got to sell some merchandise while we're here at Jake's Furnishings, 1100 Woodlawn Road here in Lincoln. Let's go over the scores real quick from last night. In the AL, Baltimore was a winner 6-1 over the New York Yankees. Detroit was a winner 7-4 over the White Sox. Texas 5, Cleveland 3, Toronto 2, and Tampa Bay 1. Minnesota and Kansas City were postponed due to the rain. In the National League, the Cubbies were a winner 6-4 over San Francisco. Washington 10, St. Louis 0, New York Mets 3, Miami 0. The Phillies 8, Atlanta 5 in 10 innings. Cincinnati won 9-3 over Houston. Milwaukee was a winner 9-3 over Pittsburgh, and San Diego 5, Colorado 4. And we're going to take a quick commercial break here at Jake's Furnishings. We got to get Jake back on to ask him what's going on with his beloved Cardinals and a lot of your beloved Cardinals listeners out there. A lot of Cardinal fans in this area, of course. We're out at Jake's Furnishings, located at 1100 Woodlawn Road. Stop out here as Jake has his Labor Day weekend sale. 1 year no interest going on right now. You're in the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM and WLCN online.com. Jake's Furnishings on Winning Saturday.
Winning Saturday.
You're in the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM and WLCN online.com. Josh Komnick and the Furniture Dude, Jake Johnston. Jake, let us know what's going on for your Labor Day sale celebration.
Well, we do have a little sale going on.
It's always a celebration here at Jake's.
We actually have big discounts on our inline mattresses through Bemco Mattress, the mattress of tomorrow today. And that additional 15% off this weekend only. That's today and tomorrow only.
Okay.
Because we're going to be closed on Labor Day. I need some time with the fam.
What?
Yep. That's how I roll. Also, with a qualified purchase and approved credit, we have 1 year no interest on everything, basically.
Okay.
Anything, well, like I said, there's some criteria you have to meet there, but 1 year no interest, pretty cool deal.
Yeah. That's happening out here at Jake's Furnishings just today and tomorrow because Jake's taking a day off on Monday. Jake, I just got done going through the scores in the National League as we've got some football to get to, some NFL talk, also some Illini talk here in a couple of minutes. But we were just talking off air. You're a Cardinal fan.
Oh.
Jim here is a big Cardinal fan too, and you guys are wondering where are the bats?
Where are the bats? They have been quiet now for almost a week. Just the Pirates really shut them out since the first game. I think they gave up maybe one run for the rest of that series, and I don't think it was earned. And so far against the Washington Nationals, again being shut out, it's not pretty. Just lost Rafael Furcal, looks like for the year as well. So it's in Cardinalville, it's a little worrisome this late in the year. But on the other hand, our competition is also losing.
Well, I tell you, it's not worrisome in Cubville, our record stands 51-80 right now. But that's about as much as I want to go into that.
I will tell you though that the Cardinals have some interesting options coming up with the September call-ups. They're actually saying that it looks like Chris Carpenter is going to be coming off the disabled list, which is about 4 months early, if I'm thinking right, which is kind of unbelievable. And they're saying that he's not even rushing it. He's
ready,
just like he's ready.
Right.
Also, Shelby Miller, who is the highest rated, I think, pitching prospect since Dan Herron in the Cardinals organization, so it's been a few years. It looks like they're going to be calling him up, which would be I'm kind of surprised they do that. That's not a Cardinal move in the past. The Cardinal moves in the past keep him for one more winter and trade him off, to be honest.
Right.
But it looks like they're going to be bringing him up, and I believe he just threw a shutout in the minors. He has looked very well since the All-Star break. His ERA, I think, since the All-Star break's under 2. So in a hit-happy league. So very, very good, very cool thing for Cardinal fans. Even if we can't make the playoffs, maybe we'll get to see a little bit of that future coming through.
81-52 is the record for the Cincinnati Reds. The Cardinals are 9.5 back at 71-61. Pittsburgh 70-61. So basically, it's going to be between you and the Pirates and the Braves for that wild card.
Correct.
Spot.
And possibly, I think the Dodgers or San Fran, one of them.
San Fran's 74-58, and the Dodgers are 70-62. That puts them 4 back of the San Francisco Giants. So
half game back outside that wild card. So.
Right.
Yep.
So it's basically a 4-team race.
Yep.
For the wild card spot.
That's exactly right. But how exciting is that going to be the last week of the season if they can keep that up? It'll be a lot like last year, which you and I have talked in length a few times about, one of the best final weeks of the season in my memory. So.
Oh yeah. And then the Dodgers had that huge deal last Sunday, I think it was, or Monday, or what it was. Unbelievable.
A couple big deals this year that you don't really think of superstars being traded. They picked up Hanley Ramirez, which, before this offseason,
before he moved to third, he was one of the best shortstops in
baseball. He is in the last 3 years 1 or 2 picks in fantasy baseball.
Sure.
Because he puts up those kind of numbers with the stolen bases. Hits, defense, everything combined, and then you put Adrian Gonzalez in there as well. That's that's a superstar.
And you don't even get Crawford because he's out for the year, and they still
that's exactly right. And they still get him. Who, hopefully he gets his career back on track, because that's a fun guy to watch in the outfield. Plays good defense, and he is lightning fast.
So it'll be an interesting race, especially for the National League, which I think the National League is more watched here in this area.
Yeah.
As you said, the Cardinals, Pittsburgh, the Dodgers, and
the White Sox right now are in a battle with Detroit. So that's kind of fun to watch too. They're right there neck and neck, coming down the stretch again. Yeah.
So baseball. Not quite on the end, but for me, it's on the back burner.
Yeah,
as football starts, the Cubs are bad. I enjoy watching football a little more.
Bears
are coming up, and Jacob, what I wanted to get to also were the Illini. As we talked about when we opened the show, Western Michigan comes to Memorial Stadium today for an 11 o'clock start. They have the paper here has Illinois predicted to win 28-24. So not an easy opponent to start. It's not a BCS-type team or a team that comes from a BCS-type conference, but it's a very good opening game from a team that I think as a fan, I'm suspect about. I don't know what I can expect from the Illini. They lost some guys to the draft last year who are huge guys. A.J. Jenkins, who I saw catch a touchdown the other night for the Giants, or for the 49ers. I think the defense is going to be okay. I think our offense is going to be suspect at best for a lot of the times this year. Hopefully Shieldhouse has gotten his his passing down a little bit. Can we run the football as a Big Ten team? You got to be able to run the football. Can we do it? I don't know.
Well, you're going to get a few questions answered, I believe, tonight. So or today. It'll be fun to watch. It's a new everything for the Illini, so we'll see how it all turns out. It'll be kind of fun to watch Beckman, see how he gets the players going, and hopefully it's a big win today for the Illini and keep them moving forward. You know, last year we started out the season real well, had a couple close games, but we ended up finishing them off. So, you know, it's interesting, man. I can't wait to watch the game today.
11 o'clock last time, which Coach Beckman was at Toledo last season, they played Western Michigan. They beat them 66-63. The two teams combined for Mid-American Conference single-game records in points, 129, yards, 1,439, and touchdowns, 18 touchdowns.
Yeah.
In one game. So not do I expect that out of Coach Beckman's offense here, but
I'm expecting a 40-17 game.
40-17. I would love to see 40-17 because I believe next week we travel to Arizona State, and Arizona State put a good whooping on somebody last night. I saw funneling through the score. So this season, what can you expect? Do you think from give me your record for the Illini this year? Do we make that third consecutive bowl appearance? Is what I think a lot of people want to know.
I think they're going to be competitive throughout. I don't know if I would put them in a bowl yet. I think you hate to say rebuilding when it comes to colleges, but with a new coach in there and everything, I think there is a little bit of that. Mm-hmm. Unless Shieldhouse, is more mature than what he was last year. I mean, if Shieldhouse is more mature and he can be a little smarter with the football, it's very possible they could be competing for maybe a Big Ten title. I mean, it could be right there.
Well, the thing is, look at the Ohio State can't make it.
Yeah.
Penn State can't make it. They're both in our, I don't know if we're in leaders or I think we're in leaders, not legends. They both cannot make the bowl or, now I don't know if they can make the conference championship. I'm assuming they can't.
No.
They cannot. Okay. So, as you say, we might be
right there, default.
Wisconsin's going to be tough.
Well, yeah.
That'll be
always tough.
That'll be a tough one. But yeah, I think the Illini do make a bowl. I think they scare it. You just screech into it. I don't know that we're going to be that great,
which is fine. I mean, you think about a first year, well, a new head coach. He's not a first year head coach, but a new head coach. I think that would be something Illini fans would embrace. Right there.
Oh, yeah. I think they would be. And as far as the recruiting, I follow that pretty closely. The recruits are coming in for Coach Beckman and his staff. So promising, yes, but do they get down on him right away if we don't perform? And that's the thing that really what happens in major college football or any major sport. You got to win right away. I don't care where you're at or how long you've been there or whatever. You've got to win. And hopefully today they can start that season. Illinois last year beat them. No, it was actually in 2011. Last year, Illinois beat them 23-20. So again, one of those games you talked about where we won, but just squeaked it out on teams that. And last year we were thinking, well, we should be beating this team by maybe 20. We were getting wins.
Yeah,
I think we were 6-0 last year, and then that's really what made Zook.
Well, that's
what fired him.
Demise right there.
That's what fired him.
After that, we did nothing.
Right. So the Illini, again, 11 o'clock, I believe it's on TV, and ESPN, yes, ESPN will cover that game against Western Michigan. Notre Dame is playing right now. They're taking on Army in Dublin, Ireland. So Navy. So that was a little bit of a different. Now, not only NFL are taking over overseas, but now college football has headed that also that way. Also, again, Michigan and Alabama tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, Michigan and Alabama, big game tonight. Big game I guess hype.
Arlington, Texas.
I don't know if it's going to be that big of a game, to be honest.
Think it'll be a blowout?
I don't think it'll be pretty.
I don't think it'll be close.
I think Alabama's there's maybe only a couple teams that can compete with them this year.
And I don't think there's any coaches that can compete with. I think Nick Saban is hands down the best coach in college football.
Well, when you put in maybe not best X's and O's, but when you put down recruiting, which is one of the biggest things in college football, you put recruiting in there, he's as good as it gets. I'd throw Urban Meyer right there with him. I'm going to put him up there, but that's as good as it gets right there.
Well, you give him this long to prepare for basically one type of player. I mean, they have a quarterback that's Don't get me wrong, he's good.
He is very good.
He's really exciting to watch, but that's basically all they. I mean, they have a good running back, but he's out for the game today.
He's out for the game.
Bernard Robinson doesn't throw the ball well.
No.
So
he doesn't make a lot of good decisions.
Saban will have that guy hounded in the backfield like crazy. And even though Alabama is young, they don't have the same team. They lost a lot of guys to the draft.
Well, they use a lot of guys every year, though.
Well, that's the type
every
of
year
program
they're going to have 8 to 10 guys go pro in the draft. I mean, not talking undrafted, in the draft, 8 to 10 guys. And, he loads up on cornerbacks one year. Well, the next year he loads up on defensive tackles. Next, and it's
he knows what
offensive line. He knows what he's losing, and he knows how to game plan for these guys. Every year he just puts out another championship caliber team.
Give you the top 10 real quick for college football as we start the first Saturday of college football. Southern Cal, number 1, Alabama 2, LSU 3, Oklahoma 4, Oregon 5, Georgia 6, Florida State 7, Michigan 8, South Carolina 9, Arkansas is number 10. You got Wisconsin from the Big Ten at 12, 13 is Michigan State, Nebraska at 17, Ohio State at 18. So that looks like that will round out the Big Ten, but a very tough Big Ten. Real quick, I wanted to get 11 a.m. starts the Penn State regime of no more Joe Pa, of course. It's been really overdone, I think. I'm tired of listening to it, but it will be a really neat setting, I think, and I'll tune in, even though I'll probably miss the Illini kickoff. I'll tune in just to see what kind of something happens. The crowd does something special for the Penn State, and I think it's kind of a neat thing. I don't like, obviously don't like what happened, but you can't blame the players and you can't blame the coaching staff, at least this one.
Well, you can't blame this one, but, if they're going to, memorialize Joe Pa, I think there is something wrong with that.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm just saying I'd like to see the rally behind the fans to the players that stayed, that chose to stay with the university.
I agree with that.
And it's something kind of a neat thing to.
Unfortunately, I think that they all sway it towards putting this guy up on a pedestal in which he does not deserve.
Not anymore.
I mean, he was he a good coach? Yeah, they do a lot of good things for a lot of players. Yes, but what he assisted in is bigger than all of that times 10.
Yeah. Also, want to thank Jim Grimaldi, criminal defense attorney, Logan County's only law firm dedicated exclusively to the practice of criminal law. Give him a call at 217-651-8089. And also the Eaton Corporation, America's choice for top quality, high performance electrical equipment for over 53 years. We're out at Jake's Furnishings, 1100 Woodlawn Road. Coach and a couple big guys just stepped in, so we're going to take a break, get them suited up, and we'll be back in a couple minutes. You're in the Cheap Seats, 96.3 FM and WLCN online.com.